Hey there, artist. So we have a easy peasy task of starting to make a sketchbook. So what we're going to be doing is just making the inside of a sketchbook, and we're also going to be making the outside of the sketchbook in a different class. So what you're going to be getting right now is, or when I'm done yapping, I guess, you're gonna get about 15 pieces of paper. Notice I said about. You need, if it's 16, 14, that's fine, but you need to count about 15-ish pieces of paper. You are also going to get a piece of cardboard. This type of cardboard is called chipboard, and this is gonna be the backing to our sketchbook. So what you're gonna do is, once you have your 15-ish pieces counted, you're gonna lay them up against your chipboard, and they might not all be perfectly sized. That's all right. Sometimes Miss Langdon doesn't cut it so perfectly. What you're gonna do also is have, two binder clips. They're itty bitties. And what you can do is you're gonna clip each one, but you're not gonna clip it at the top. You're gonna clip it on the side, down about a centimeter or so. So clip it down just a little ways. All right, so one more task to do is we're going to put a special type of glue on the top of our book, and it's the type of glue that makes papers easy to tear out. It is not regular glue, it is special for book making. So it looks like this guy, and I just got this on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is cheat a little bit, and I'm going to stick my paintbrush in here, but you all are going to get something like a little dish or something, and you're going to paint it. But you need to put a pretty good coat on, pretty thick. Otherwise, your papers risk not sticking together. And even on the side, not very far, but just a smidge. That's why you put the binder clips down a ways. If your paper is kind of popping up because it's not cut perfectly, just readjust it, okay? So that it's pretty flat. And I recommend actually going through and putting a couple layers of glue on the top. All right. When you are done with this, you are going to just work on the cover, or I guess it's the first page. So you'll need to put your teacher code and your name on it. Maybe your name is your first sketch. So I bet we'll talk about in class what is the purpose of a sketchbook. It's not to make masterpieces. It's for ideas, listing ideas, practicing ideas, trying to draw a composition. Those are all the purposes of your sketchbook. So I am going to ask myself to pause the video here and finish talking about sketchbook, because I'm going to continue making the cover, which is for your next class. All right, no, really, Miss Langdon, please just pause the video. Okay, putting my book glue away because it is time for me to make the cover. So you are going to be getting a piece of fabric. I've already drawn on mine a little bit, and it's gonna have some strings popping out. It's no big deal. That's just the nature of the fabric. And you're gonna need a messy mat. You might want to wash off your messy mat, or maybe I'll have them washed off, I don't know. Okay, this is gonna be the front and back of your book. So keep that in mind, that because it's a front and back, if you fold it in half, this is going to actually be the front. So it'll end up being kind of like this in the future, okay? Where it opens like that, and then the fabric becomes your cover. So I'm going to say that one more time for all you people in the back. This half is the front. Usually when you look at something, you think the first part must be the beginning, but that is not true. This is the back. Next, we are going to use Sharpies to decorate. I already did some decorations, but just so you can watch me doodle, because I know it's super fun. Ooh, which color should I use? This one. You can continue, fill it in. You could take as many classes as you need. I'm going to stop because you are not here to watch me make art. But this is not the real cool part anyway. The real fun part about making these covers is we used Sharpie for a reason. We are going to do something called Sharpie bleeding. Now you've done marker bleeding, but we are going to do Sharpie bleeding. Sharpies are permanent markers though, so they need something special to make them bleed out. So instead of using water, we're actually going to be using rubbing alcohol, all right? So you're going to get a dish of rubbing alcohol, and you are going to get a pipette. To use this, what you're going to do is this. You're going to squeeze the bottom of the pipette, stick it into where the liquid is, let it go, and the tube will fill. And then what you're going to do is slowly start putting drips around your art. Now mine won't finish the whole thing during the video, just like when we do regular marker bleeding, it doesn't really finish for a while. But I want you to pay attention to this, or note this, that if you draw something really detailed, the details are going to get lost in the bleeding. Unless you just don't want to do the marker bleeding, but I can't imagine you not. This is the best part. Oh, need more liquid. Now again, I clearly just kind of rushed and didn't really take my time. Maybe when this dries, I'll add some more details and try it again. Oh, that's a good idea. If you want to do more details, like you draw an animal, but you don't want to do the eye because you don't want to look, you don't want it to bleed out. You can do that part when it's dry and just not bleed that part. Does that make sense? All right, guys. So we'll probably be putting these on the drying rack when we're finished. And I suppose that it's okay if you don't have your name on this. Maybe it's a good idea to put it on like the back page and not bleed it out. I don't know. And then we'll figure out whose is whose in the next art class. So one other thing to note is once you've started marker bleeding, you can't draw where it's wet, okay? So I could, I guess, put a little something here, but I could just also wait till another time. All right, folks, that's what you're working on for today. I am excited to see what you come up with. Happy arting.